Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar, SciNote from Beginner to Pro. My name is Blažka Orel, and I'm Customer Support Specialist here at SciNote. I'm also joined today by Katerina Kovač, our VP of Customer Support.
Hi, everyone.
So the purpose of today's webinar is to go through SciNote basic functionalities and to learn more how you can use it for your research work. I will now share the screen with you. So let me just say a little bit about the webinar settings. So just if you don't see the video, please let us know in the chat. So you can there you can also post your questions. So just please turn on the live chat on the right side of the video player. If the comment area is gray and you cannot write a comment, simply click on your YouTube profile in the right upper corner. Then click Create Account, write the information, and return to our live session. The easiest way to return to our webinar is then to find it under the history, which can be found on the left side of YouTube main page. Okay, so I just needed to say this first, and now we can start with our demonstration. So after the demonstration, we will have a Q&A session to answer your questions. And after the webinar, we will send you the video recording by email. Before we focus on the software, let me just say a few words about SciNote itself. So SciNote is an electronic lab notebook, but it's better to think of it as not a typical digital tool, because it offers so much more than, for example, OneNote. The logic we scientists use to enter research data is a bit different from how would you use a traditional paper notebook. So this is because SciNote offers you that you can manage your research projects, you can organize your work and also divide this to your lab members. You can keep track of your day-to-day work. You can store and manage your resources. So this can be your samples, your reagents, your lab equipment, and so on. And you can also link these resources to other relevant data. SciNote is an online application and is currently used by around 30,000 users worldwide. And all of these users are basically scientists from all sorts of fields. So this means that SciNote is very useful for any type of scientific research. If you don't have SciNote account yet, and you want to start using it, just simply sign up on our webpage. So here I'm just sharing where you can sign up. And the SciNote account is completely free. Katerina will now share a link with you on the chat. And SciNote free account has a bit limitations, but we will focus on that at the end. So first, let's just go through the software, and that's it. If you already have SciNote account, just log in on our webpage as well. So you just need to enter your credentials, your email, your password, and just press the login button. Okay. So now I have logged into my SciNote account. And once you are logged in your SciNote account, you will see the dashboard of your team. So basically, when you create free SciNote account, you automatically create your own team. A team can represent a research group, a department, or a laboratory, also an institute or a company. And all of the team members are working on the common projects, as you can see on the dashboard here. These are called projects. As a user, you automatically become the owner of your team, but you can also be invited by other SciNote users into their teams. So if I switch over here at the top menu bar, you can see that now my dashboard is switched to my team, but I can easily switch to the team of other my colleagues. So let's say SciNote team. So the projects now are completely different as they were before. As a team owner, you can also add other people to the team and assign them user roles. So in this case, you just click on your profile and you click invite people to SciNote. So here is where you can then type in the emails of your colleagues. In this case, I will now just invite my colleague, Hannah. You need to check the box and you just then select a team. So now I'm just going to invite her into my team and I will assign her a role. So at the team level, we have 3 different roles. These roles are administrator, normal user, and guest. So the administrator has the full authority when it comes to managing the team members and the projects. The normal user can only create, edit, and archive things within the team. And the last one is the guest, who can only view things. So everything that will now show from now on, so in terms of data, will be part of the SciNote team. In SciNote, a team can organize the research in 3 main structural levels. So the first one I already mentioned, and these are the projects. Then you can also create experiments and tasks. So before you actually start entering your data, you need to structure your work. Since SciNote is quite general enough, you can actually use it in various scientific fields. And we're just going now to create our first project. So simply click on New Project button over here and type the project name. After that, you decide if you want to make your project private and public. So what does this mean? Public, it means that it's visible to the entire team, and private, it means that it's only visible to members of this particular project. In any case, you don't need to worry. This has nothing to do with visibility outside your team. So we will now just click the project, and we have it on our dashboard. You can see that each project card has a name, a start date, and a function bar where you can see the activity of a project, its members, the notifications, and comments. In order to collaborate with your team members on the project, you need to invite them to the project first. So in this case, I will click on the avatar icon, and you need to follow the Manage Users link. Once you click here, you can now select a person from a drop-down list and assign them a role. So for example, if I decide to invite Yana, who is a normal user at the team level, and she wants to become also a leader of this demo project, over here I can assign her the owner user role. So this is one of our project roles that you can assign to the people. So the next one is also the user, the technician, and the viewer. Okay, so we have done this. So these roles basically determine what your permissions are on a particular project. You can also then communicate within a project. And for example, if you want to let your colleague know a project-related matter, you can tag them by using @. You also then need to select them and you can write them a quick message. So let's say, Hannah, please prepare a project report. So Hannah will then receive my message in her notifications, which is here under the bell icon. So every project in SciNote can be also then broken down into the experiments. You can create several experiments and they will look like this, like a thumbnail. You can sort them by the newest first or oldest first, or also in the alphabetic order. So to create an experiment, just click on New Experiment button over here. Give your experiment a name, and also write a description. Once you click on the Create Experiment, you are automatically redirected to the experiment canvas. So this canvas is currently completely blank. And here is actually a space where you need to enter the third structural level. And these are our tasks. So you need to click the edit experiment. And now we can create multiple tasks. So since we are now working on the DNA cloning experiment, we're just going to write several tasks. So let's say the first one is going to be host organism. And a great thing about these tasks is that you can also move them around the canvas. The second, let's say, will be cloning vector. And let us just create another one. Okay. So as I mentioned, you can move them around. And if you drag a connection between them, then they will work a workflow. So this is especially relevant when you have some dependencies between the tasks. So for example, in our DNA cloning experiment, you need to prepare cloning vector first before you can actually introduce recombinant DNA into the host organism. So in this case, this is why then these connections are very useful. So once you're finished with the workflow, you just simply click Save, and that's it. To the left of the experiment canvas, we have the navigation bar that helps you navigate through the experiments. So for example, we can now return to our qPCR experiment. I can click on it, and here we have another workflow. So just to see what actually the tasks can look like. So every task has a name, a due date, a description, avatars, activity, comments, and also the samples. I will actually demonstrate the samples a bit later. So now I just want to show you also the very important feature, which are the tags. So the tags are, for example, can inform you about the biological material, in this case, because the task is called sampling biological material. And the tags can inform you about if this material is pathogenic and you need to be extra careful. So over here, you can see that the due date, since it's set it was set for yesterday, and because it is already due, then its color is in red. However, all the dates, the default color is in gray. If the due is going to be very soon, so let's say for today, then it's going to be in the yellow color. So this means that simply by looking at the workflow, you have an overview how the project is coming along and if you're on track and so on. Then when you open a task, you reach a section where you can start entering your notes. So there are two main elements that you need to input. So the first one is the procedure under the protocols, and the second are the results. So the procedure, or let's say execution of this task, is written down in a form of protocol. Let me just show you. So as you can see, this protocol is consisted of multiple protocol steps. To create a protocol, you just need to click Add New button. So basically you add your step. In this case, we're going to add our last step. And then over here, you put a description, and each step can also have checklists. So these checklists can be, let's say, buffer mixes. We will just now write the numbers. And then under the third tab, you can add files. So for example, if you already have an existing protocols that are in Word or PDF document, then you can just simply upload the PDF and the Word document here. You can drag and drop multiple files. And under the last tab, you can create tables. Once you're finished with creating step, you just simply click add, and this is it. Another great thing about a protocol is that you can save it in the protocol repository over here. So then this protocol is available to other team members, and they can make certain modifications. And in this case, you basically then create a certain protocol versioning. So for example, I will just show you the protocol repository, which can be accessed here at the top menu bar. It's the second icon from the left. So for example, Katarina, my colleague, she has made a first protocol version number 1, and I have made now the second one, and they are all available in the protocol repository. If you use a protocol often, you can create a task for which the same protocol applies, and you can simply just click load protocol and then load it from the repository. So this is a very great feature as well. And the loaded protocol will override the current protocol in the task, and the current protocol will remain unchanged in the repository. You can also then complete each step, and you will see that the number will turn blue, and everything will be also then logged under the activity tab, so you can see what changes were made in this task. Then under the results tab, I also forgot to mention the export protocol. So this is very useful if you are collaborating with external collaborators and you just want to share your protocol with them. Then under the results tab is where you would upload your final results. So these results can be a text result, a table result, and a file. So any data that you will upload here can be are stored and associated with the project on the current that we're working on, so the demo project. And this really helps you when you want to go back and analyze your data. So if you have the whole process now obtained with these results, it makes it so much easier for you to reproduce your work and also to find your mistakes. So the text result, I will just show you the examples, can be a sequence of base pair of a plasmid vector, like this one over here. Then a table result can be calculated solution concentrations. And over here we have an uploaded picture. And you can also, of course, upload Microsoft Office documents like Word in this case, and you can also edit them online. Each result has a comments field where you can upload, where you can comment on the result, or you can leave a quick message to your colleague. So again, just the same as with the protocol. And you can also connect or link this certain result with relevant data. So you can use hashtag and then link this document, let's say, with one of these SciNote elements, in this case with the sample. Now I will show you the second repository, which are the samples. So as mentioned earlier, tasks can also have samples assigned to them. You can manage them here in the samples repository. So you can add sample one by one, or you can simply just import a file. So this is very easy because this way you avoid the manual hassle and you can also save time. The only thing that you need to have in mind is that the file needs to be a CSV, TXT, or an Excel file. So now we're going to assign one of the samples to the qPCR task. So let's say we're going to assign these three. So we just click assign. And as you can see, they will now be marked as blue. And if we return to the workflow overview, you can see that these samples are now also listed here. And since the tasks are connected with each other, they also get assigned downstream the workflow. So this is also a way how you can keep track of them. In addition to the samples repository, we also have custom repositories. So the custom repositories are basically accessed then over here again at the top menu bar, but in this case, it's the third icon from the left. And you can create up to 5 different personalized repositories. So in this case, you can create, let's say, a repository for your instruments or reagents or plasmids or primers. And the procedure for adding these items into the table is the same as with samples. So you can do this manually, one by one, or you can simply import a file. But also these tables are very flexible, so you can add additional columns, and you can also hide or make them visible again. So once you create your repositories, you can simply then just assign the resources to the task. So let's say we're going to assign Vortex and UV machine to the qPCR. And then if I switch the view, then these two instruments are also assigned here. And now one of the most useful features in SciNote are the reports. So SciNote helps you to create a report in a few clicks. So if you click on the button over here and just continue by clicking the blue triangle, under the first tab is where you choose your content. So basically, over here is where you decide if you want to include which experiments you want to include or which individual tasks. So you can be very picky. For now, I'm just going to choose the entire project. And then under the second tab, you choose the content in terms of protocols, repositories, and results. So if you want to only include the protocols and you want to print it out, you would just then select these 3 boxes and you would click at the report. I will show you a bit later then how you continue with the printing, but I also want to now just include everything, and I click add to report. Then the report generates in a few seconds and it can look like this. So it's basically a PDF report, and you can save then this report. So let me just show you the content. So you have the pictures here and also the comments. And the reports can also be a bit editable. So you can, for example, exclude a certain section. You can move the sections up and down. And then you can save it to into SciNote. You can export it as PDF, or as I mentioned earlier, you can print it out directly, and you can then take this report to the lab with you. So this functionality is very useful if you need to report to your supervisor or you need to give updates at the meetings. So yeah. Then let us just quickly run through SciNote. So you can return to the main dashboard by clicking on the logo here or home button. So as SciNote user, you have your own team, but you can be part as other teams as well. A team works on common projects. Then within a project, you can create experiments. And an experiment can then have tasks that are connected to each other. They can also be standalone units. And on the left side, you have a navigation bar where you can navigate through the elements, or you can use the breadcrumbs here at the top. And for example, if you're working with tasks that you are also using in other experiments, you can then also use experimental templates, and therefore it can save you some time. And each of the text fields in SciNote you can use smart annotations. So it means that you can refer to your friend, or you can refer to SciNote element. And also then, of course, the final thing is that you can also then manage your repositories such as samples, protocols, and custom repositories. And you can also then, of course, generate your reports. And all of them can also be saved here. So last but not the least, SciNote has also a powerful search function. So you can search through the projects or the content of the attached files. So simply type in the keyword and the search result will then appear. So the great thing is that basically you will, the blue squares are marked that there are the search results. So it searches through all the SciNote elements. And once you click on it, then you will see the search results. Okay, so these are the main core functionalities. We haven't shown you one of the features that are not part of our payable plans. So let's just take a quick look at the comparison chart between the plans that we also offer. So as you can see, we have the free version, which has no trial period. And then there are two other payable plans. They're called Academia and Industry. The free plan has limitations when it comes to storage space, and it's also limited in number of allowed teams and repositories, as well as in support service. Academia and Industry plans, however, enable you to host SciNote on private cloud, which then guarantees you faster, smoother usage of SciNote, as well as the possibility of local installation and local backup. In the payable plans, you can also have unlimited number of teams. You can pick how much storage space you would need. So the starting amount here is 1 terabyte. And another difference is that the free plan only offers 5 custom repositories, while you can have more on the payable plans. There is also a difference in the support that we offer. So Academia and Industry plans, they include the onboarding. So the onboarding is training of all users. And you also get a designated key account manager. So now the main difference between Academia and Industry is in compliance. So the Industry plan includes features and add-ons that can help you meet regulatory requirements, such as 21 CFR Part 11, the GLP, and HIPAA compliance. So for example, here the features would be electronic signatures, e-witnessing, system log records, and detailed audit trail. The Academia, however, does not have these features. On top of all that, we also offer site license possibilities for the larger institutions. The pricing is based per user. However, the exact price for the package depends on all the different variables and quantity of the certain features you would need. So that being said, we have prepared a small poll for you to see which of the 3 plans would best fit your needs. So you can access this poll by clicking on the information card. So this information card is positioned in the right upper corner of the webinar video. So if you just click on that, you can leave your vote, and you can only choose one of these 3 options. So free, Academia, or Industry. If you're not sure which plan would be best for you, or you would like to know more about the prices, you could schedule a free consultation meeting with our key account manager. Katarina will also now share the link of the form on the chat, so you can apply and you can get all the information that you need. So that's all about the SciNote core functionalities and our plans. So we can now start with the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you, Blaszka, for this nice presentation. We now have about 15 minutes to answer the questions which you have been posting on the webinar chat during the presentation. Please feel free to keep posting them. You can post your questions on live chat on the right side of the video player. If the comment area is gray and you cannot write a comment, simply click on your YouTube profile in the right upper corner, click Create Account, and return to our live session. The easiest way to return to our webinar is to find it under the history on the left sidebar of the YouTube main page. So we have already received a question during the presentation, and the question was, would it be useful to allow one user to create more than one team? I think this is not possible, right? So as Blaszka already explained, it is possible to have several teams, and this is a part of our premium plan. So to repeat, free SciNote plan offers each user to be the owner of one team, but a member of multiple teams. So having more than one team to manage is available in academia and industry plan. So there you are not limited by the number of teams.
Okay.
So now we have another question. Daniel, thank you for your question. So are these features available for purchase? SciNote Manuscript Writer and 21 CFR Part 11 if we install locally via your GitHub free version? So local installation has some limitations. At the moment, it is not possible to install it, but you can schedule a meeting with our premium team, and they will help you to answer this question and give you possibilities also for this.
We're also having...
Okay, so we have another question. Thank you, Igor. So how instruments are registered in the app? There are predefined instruments available. So this Blaszka can show you. We have a repository of the instruments, and Blaszka will now show you how this works.
Okay, so just maybe to see the question once more, that I understand it correctly. So these instruments that you're asking, Igor, if they're predefined. So basically, these instruments can be part of your custom repositories. And the custom repositories are accessible if you're following my mouse here at the top menu bar. So they're not predefined. You can actually rename these repositories. You can create, however, only up to 5 different custom repositories. And to rename it, you just simply click on this cogwheel button over here and then just click rename. And basically, then this repository can be completely something else. So these were just some examples that we showed over here.
Okay, so we have another question from Cesar. So the question is, the system does not accept unconventional files from other applications, such as the output files of sequence analysis software. Is there a way around that?
Yeah, this is a very good question, Cesar. So the workaround would be that you could simply just take a screenshot of this data that were output of, let's say, a machine. So you would just basically create a screenshot and then you would upload it as a picture. This would be a workaround. If, on the other hand, this data output is like a text, like this one here, then you would just simply click on the text result, and then you can paste the content over here.
Yes, so however, you can also upload actually any kind of file, but the problem might be the size, because you can upload only 50 megabytes at once. So then we have another question. So is there a way to associate files such as sequence data to samples? Yes, so this is possible with the smart annotations. So you can show Blaszka how this works.
So you just simply type in the hashtag, and then you can just select the sample. If the sample is not listed here, you just need to type first 3 letters, let's say TG, and then the SciNote will find the sample for you. And then over here, just click plus, and then basically this sequence is then linked with this sample over here.
Okay, so I think Cesar was also asking if it's possible, for example, to associate files in the sample. So this you can also do in the sample part. We are receiving quite a lot of questions. So if it will not be possible to answer all of them, you can just keep posting them, because we will send later all the questions with the answers to you together with the webinar link. So we can now maybe go to another question. So is there a limited number of protocols that can be saved to the repository?
A limited number of the protocols that can be saved to the repository. No. So Nicholas, my answer to your question is no. So there is no limitation. The only thing is that you can separate the public and private protocols. So the private ones will be basically only accessible to you, to yourself, and the public ones will be accessible to all the team members.
Okay, there was also one question: when exporting as PDF files, are these completely manipulatable in Acrobat Professional, or are they locked? So these files are not locked, so you can change them later. Is there a limit on file size to be uploaded? We have actually already answered this question. So as I said before, the limit is 50 megabytes. Okay, so do you have any plans to integrate Google Drive tools like Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets? Okay. So Blaszka, you can answer this one.
So SciNote currently is integrated with Microsoft Office Online. So let's say it's not like Google Spreadsheet, or Google Docs, but it's pretty close. So if you, for example, I will just show you where I have uploaded these files. Over here, you can see that we have Word and Excel. And if you click on Edit Online, then basically you can start working on the you can review and work on the document online. So it's basically the same as Google Docs.
Okay, so another question was from Relia. Tell us more about new improved SciNote manuscript functionality. So SciNote Manuscript Writer is actually a SciNote add-on that generates a draft of your scientific manuscript. So the draft is based on your experiments in SciNote, keywords, and DOI numbers of open access references of your choice. So Manuscript Writer in general will prepare introduction, materials and methods, results and references section of the manuscript. And then you need to note that the aim of the draft is to give you a head start and in no way represents the final version ready for submission. So always you need to review all the work that Manuscript Writer has done, and also probably change a bit the introduction and review, of course, the methods and your results. You would also need to add the discussion, because the discussion is very personal part of the article. So this part is not generated by Manuscript Writer. Okay, so the next question is, or perhaps integration with Slack. So this is the question which was probably in connection with some other question.
Integration with Slack. So maybe I can answer this question. We have thought about it because our company, we also use this for internal communication. We like this app, but currently you can just use all the fields that offer the comments, and you just tag a person with an ad, and this is the current like sufficient functionality in regards to communication.
Okay, so I think we have answered all the questions until now. So please feel free to post more questions. We still have 4 minutes, so we still have time to answer some of your questions. Okay. So no additional questions so far.
Maybe just a last call or invitation that you could vote for which plan interests you best. So maybe just on the right upper corner there is a information card, and if you click on it you will get all of these 3 options, and just pick one, the best one that you think, and we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, so if you have okay, so the next question is, where can I find a price list? So yeah, the best way is to contact our premium team. So before we posted the link, we will post it again now at the end. You can schedule a meeting with our premium team, and they will tell you the prices, because they need to know some more information. All the packages depend on the different variables and quantity of certain features you would need. So they would better calculate the price for you. So we can actually post the link to schedule the meeting with our team again here. So we have posted it to the chat. So any other question? Also, if you have any other question, you can write to us later. So you can send all your questions to our email support@scinote.net. So we have another question here. Allowing association of files to samples in the sample section would be great. Also to allow attachment of any other files. So Blaszka can now show you how you can actually, in the sample repository part, how you can associate the files.
The files. So in this case, for example, now that I'm on the sample repository, you could create additional column that would be just called files. I'm just searching if we already have one. We don't, so we're going to create one. Okay. So now here we have the column. So if you click on one row, you can also, of course, select all of them, and then you just simply click edit, and over here you could then upload a link, let's say, of your file, but the file, of course, needs to be stored on your cloud storage.
Okay, thank you, Blaszka. Okay, so I think we don't have any additional question now. So as I said, you can send...
we have another one.
Okay, we have another one. Is there an Android version that I can use on a tablet or only a browser version?
So SciNote is an online, browser-based application. So currently we don't have a dedicated app for it. But there is a possible installation of SciNote, but only with, of course, payable plans.
Okay, so I think we don't have more questions. So as I said before, you can send all your questions to support@scinote.net.
Okay. So thank you again so much for joining us. We hope that you have joined the webinar, that you have received some useful information. If you will struggle with SciNote or have any technical questions, please just visit our support webpage or send us an email to support@scinote.net. Thank you once again and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.